the grace of the spiritual master can also understand this confidential knowledge. Krishna. Krishna Prabhupada says that Prahlad was a very good student of Narada. What is So Prahlad was a very good student of Narada Muni, but not a very good student of Shandra Namara. Right? Why? Because he learned from Narada Muni, and Prabhupada says whenever he would take time between the two periods or in the recess, Narada Muni would begin his preaching. Which preaching, which knowledge he would share, what he what he learned from, what he learned from Narada in the disciplic succession. So the verse previous to this, the connection is that he says Dharma, Artha, Kama. And these three vargas from the Vedas, these three vargas are also cheating for the soul. These are uh, they are external subject matters of the study in the Vedas, and therefore I consider them material. Prahlad is saying. So Krishna says, Yamimam Pushpitam Vacham Pravadanti Avipashchitaha Vedavadratah. They are Vedavadratahs, they are talking about so many subjects to be discussed from the Vedas. But these external subject matters, I consider them material. But I consider surrender to the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu to be transcendental. So this brings us to today's verse. So there's something called as information, something called as knowledge, and something else is realization. Right? एक होता है उसको हिंदी में information is सूचना. Right? You can write information in your book. Restroom is this side, airport is that side, information. But there's something called knowledge about the subject. And beyond knowledge is realization of that subject. Right? That you realize the subject. So that's why, let's say, four disciples, they one time, after finishing the graduating from the Guru's school, where they learned Mrita Sanjeevani mantra. What is Mrita Sanjeevani mantra? This mantra is that you will bring a dead man or dead entity to life. So when after finishing their school, they are going through a forest. Right? When they were going through the forest, they saw under a tree, they saw a skeleton of a dead lion. Right? And all of them have studied, they have the knowledge about Vrita Sanjeevani Mantra. So three of them decided we should do something about it now. Before we reach the village and before anybody says anything to us to prove ourselves, let us see if we have actually learned the knowledge. We have it. So the fourth one said, Thoda soch lo, think over what you're trying. No, we have got knowledge from Guru, Guru the Sanjeevani mantra, and we will try. And the fourth one said, do you mind giving me 5 minutes? Yeah, please take your 5 minutes. What do you want to do? He said, I want to climb the tree. And the fourth one went and climbed the tree. And what did they do? They chanted Brutta Sanjeevani mantra and brought the lion to life. And what did the lion get? Breakfast, lunch, dinner. All the arrangements went one go. And this guy sitting on the top said, knowledge was there, but realization about where to apply, how to apply, that was not there. Right? So Suchna, Gyan or Samaj, these three things are different. Right? इसलिए उसको ऐसा कहते हैं कि बहुत खुशकिस्मत होते हैं वो लोग जिनको समय और समझ साथ में आती है। वरना जब तक समय होती है तब समझ नहीं होता और जब तक समझ आती है तब तक समय निकल चुका होता है। Both are very important, right? Because when we hear this knowledge from realized sources, from when we hear it from disciplic succession, right? So, Prahlad Maharaj is saying this is the right source of knowledge. That when we hear it in parampara, even if we go to business, so there are so many darknesses that are covering us. We'll discuss 4 kinds of darkness. Right? The, the first three are SMS. These darkness are covering us from where we get our sources of knowledge or we try to, and that's, and the fourth one is the Vedic darkness. The first S is sense gratification. Right? All the knowledge Prahlad is saying that Shanda Navarka school is offering is how to gratify their senses. And Prabhupada would say these education institutes end up becoming spiritual slaughterhouses because only knowledge is about how to satisfy one's senses. Okay? And what do they come out with? A blind faith in technology nowadays. Uh, Knowledge, what is offering? What are they offering? Blind faith in technology. And we see, the big aeroplane crashed, a Dreamliner, Boeing, Boeing, it was a Boeing Dreamliner. It crashed. Even after so many days, they are not able to figure out why did it crash. Your plane, your knowledge, not taken. And so much blind faith on the technology. Oh, it should not have failed. But right? So first S is the knowledge about sense gratification. It's no knowledge Srila Prabhupada says. Even the animals know how to gratify their senses. And little bit ahead they will go, and in the name of science, they will do mental speculation. Prabhupada, it may have been like this, could have been like that. Right? Darwin lived for 60 years, 65 years, most probably. And how much did he speculate for? Millions of years ago. थोड़ा तो सोचो लेकिन थोड़ा तो सोचो what are you trying to do? I cannot speculate how life must have been in America before Europeans invaded here. So difficult. But entire science practically based on so much speculation going on there. And every time a new scientist will come and say, my medical speculation says this now. Right? And all of them will offer their theories. Like, is it theory of evolution or fact of evolution? Yeah. It's a theory. Anybody can give a theory. Right? And you can do a little homework, go to, if you Google for it, two words, forbidden archaeology. Put these two words and see what you get. So many scientists who have done research, and whenever they come about, with a different information than Darwin, a different conclusion than Darwin, they lose their jobs. Right? They lose their, PhDs have been wiped out. Why? Darwin is our God. Whatever Darwin says is perfect. Because so much mental speculation going on. So SN, that's the next kind of darkness that we have. The next S is superficial religiosity. Srila Prabhupada would say. They are also offering. Prabhupada said, India has become, a factory of gods, Srila Prabhupada. So many will come to America. In those days, so many would come. Everyone starting their organization, their own theory. And what are they offering? They're offering superficial religiosity. And they also say, oh yeah, we have crossed the material part. We have come to, we have come only to religion now. We have not yet come to spirituality. Right? And Srila Prabhupada said, don't be like an owl. Right? The sun is out there. Bhagavatam is available. Bhagavad Gita is there. But they will choose to close the eyes. Their eyes, I don't want to see the sun. Your knowledge. So, the fourth kind of darkness is, which is Prahlad Maharaj is mentioning, is the Vedic darkness. One comes to the fold of Vedas, but there will only study about, like in the last verse, only three words is being talked about: Dharma, Artha, Kama. But Bhagavatam says all the more. The fourth one also is a cheating one's soul. Moksha. Soul is meant to love and serve God. Just by getting liberated, what will we gain? What's the benefit by just getting liberated? So if I'm in the hospital, I'm sick, right? And if my goal at that time would be, I want to come out of this sickness and I just want to go out of this hospital. Let me get liberated from this hospital. But that's not the success. The success would be if I regain health, if I regain taste, So similarly, for the soul, the Vedas will bring the soul to dharma, artha, kama. Okay, regulate yourself. Right? You need kama, but dharma, artha, it has to, before that, it has to be dharma, artha, then kama. And then the Vedas maximal bring one to moksha, liberation. Dharma sarvashrita pumsa, vishwaksena katha suyam, na utpadyed yadirate, shrama eva hi kevalam. Huh? You have done anushtita dharma, you have very nicely steered in your dharma, but if your practice of dharma does not bring you to na utpadyed yadirate, the eagerness to hear Krishna Katha, Vishwaksena Katha, everything else is simply Shrama, Evahi Kevalam, useless, hard labor for nothing. Because it did not bring to us to attraction to hear Krishna Katha. So, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was discussing with Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu talks about, he says all the Vedas, right? So, what Prahlad here is saying, 46%. These are the external subject matters of studying the Vedas. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says, all the Vedas can be divided, all the information in the Vedas is simply three categories. Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojan. Who am I? Who is God? And what is my relationship with God? I seem to have forgotten that relationship. So what is the Abhideya? What is the mature process? What is the process that I practice as per the age that I'm living in? And Prayojana, that sambandha can be taken to what level? Love of God. So Mahaprabhu's entire Vedic knowledge is simply sambandha, abhideya, and prayojana. Right? So Prahlad is telling us here that we have to hear in parampara. Otherwise, this knowledge is great secret. This essence of I consider surrender to the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu to be transcendental, is saying here. Hmm? This to come to this knowledge, right? Like Srila Prabhupada is giving a lecture in New York, 26th Avenue. And Prabhupada has a Bhagavad Gita in front of him. And Prabhupada says, look at this aspect. Dr. Radhakrishnan Prabhupada says. See what is he saying here? Krishna is saying, Man mana, bhavad bhakto, mad yaji, mam namastu. Right? Surrender to me. Think of me. Worship me. And this Dr. Radhakrishnan, he says that you're not supposed to know, not to Krishna as a person, but the light, the impersonal light within Krishna. So Prabhupada says, if Krishna had to say that, he could have. Why are you misinterpreting like this? Right? So in the year 2007, I was giving a program, and one elderly couple came to that program. And I was supposed to speak for an hour. And after every 10 minutes, the man, he would raise his hand. Can I say something? Shall I say something? Every time. And I had to tell him I have prepared for 1 hour. Allow me to speak. I'll give you a chance. And I told him I had to tell after 2, 3 times that he intervened. I had to tell, I'll speak for 50 minutes. I'll keep the whole 10 minutes for you at 10. You speak then. But by the time I stopped at 50 minutes, he said, no, you continue. I'll speak to you in private. I said, okay, I'll continue. And after the program was over, this husband and wife, this couple came to me. And this person said, I don't know you. I told them, please introduce yourself. He said, I am Mr. Sahastra Buddhi and she is Mrs. Sahastra Buddhi. So Buddhi, we may have one Buddhi. They have Sahasra Buddhi. 1,000 Buddhi. So intelligent raised to the power of 1,000. That's still Buddhi. And then he said, I am the director, I'm one of the directors of the National Chemical Laboratories in Pune. So he's PhD in chemistry, plus he has a PhD in Sanskrit on some subject. I said, wonderful. You're a great person. I asked him, you are raising hand, you wanted to share something. I am trying to hear from. Please tell me. He said, I have written my commentary on Bhagavad Gita. I have written commentary on Bhagavad Gita. I said, wonderful. So what is your question? What did you want to ask or what do you want to share? He said, that's detailed. We don't have time for it. I'll come to the important subject. I said, please. So he told me, I want to print the Bhagavad Gita. I'm not getting, donation or publisher for it. Can you arrange donation for it? So there is nothing. You look at me, man. You cannot ask donation to me at least. I don't have anything. I simply asked him, so you have written your commentary on Bhagavad Gita. Tell me who is your guru. I said, what? Private guru. I know Sanskrit. I have studied Sanskrit. I've done PhD in Sanskrit. I can understand Sanskrit and I've written commentary. And I told him, and wait. I have told him, if I understand English, do you think I'll understand physics? Just, just because physics is in English does not mean that I understand English. These are two different subjects. Right? Knowing English doesn't mean that I understand physics. कुछ बात मिला। ऐसा भी सवाल होता है। I said, then you tell me. In the fourth chapter of the Gita, what is Krishna saying? Evam parampara prapta. I said, yes. So this knowledge has to be received in parampara. I said, wow, I never got it like this. So that's why I asked you, who is your guru? If you have not learned it, learn from a guru. So he said, okay, I'll accept a guru. Then I could tell him there is parampara, right? So Srila Prabhupada, one disciple is asking Prabhupada many times, Prabhupada, this is in France, Paris, this conversation. This disciple is saying, Srila Prabhupada, many times the professors I meet, they ask me about Vedic technology. Western world runs on technology, right? What is Vedic technology, right? And this devotee saying, Prabhupada hardly let those words get out of my mouth. And before he rapped the table with his knuckles, and he just said very shortly, Vedic technology means Guru Parampara. Vedic technology means Guru Parampara. You hear in Guru Parampara, the very difficult subject matter, Prabhupada is saying, will become easy. Hear from Guru. And there was a profound statement and realization. Vedic technology means Shri Guru Parampara. Prabhupada said, Guru Parampara. Shri Guru Parampara, Prabhupada says. So we all follow authority in life, every field of life. Right? We value the opinion of an authority. Traffic signals, medical guidelines, so many people want to immigrate to America, right, North America, and they will have their, gurus in India who will teach them how to reach here. Right? So we follow an authority in all aspects of life. Right? So real intelligence means not to do research. Prabhupada says research is already done. The perfect knowledge is available. Simply go to here, go to Guru and hear from Guru. Yet कार्पण्य दोषो उपहत स्वभाव पृच्छामि वां धर्म संपूर्ण चेता यत् श्रेय श्रेयस्याम निश्चितम ब्रूहि तन्मे निश्चितम. And Vishwanath Thakur says, what is the meaning of nishchitam? Because Krishna is telling Arjuna, why are you coming to me? You're my friend. Are you sure you want to make me your guru? Vyasa is available. You may say, oh, he's not there on the battlefield. Bhishma is there. Drona is there. Go to them. And Arjuna says, no. Nishchitam Pruhikarmi. So real intelligence means be submissive to the words of Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, especially hear from an authority. And who is an authority? Prabhupada say, who has learned from another authority. Nobody should say, oh, I don't need to be a guru. I don't need guru. Knowledge was revealed to me. One fine morning I got up and there was a halo around me. I studied some books, I've got some degree, and I can speak on any subject now. Prabhupada says, no. If you have, our Jayatvan Swami said this very correct. He says, if you have no guru, If you are your own disciple, then you are a fool as your guru, a fool as a disciple. I'm saying. So, what we have to learn from an authority who has learned from a superior authority. Hmm. So, one has to, guru has to come in parampara. And this difficult knowledge becomes very easy to understand Shiva Prabhupada. So, Sulabha, Tasyaham Sulabha Partha. Otherwise, Krishna is very difficult to attain, very difficult to understand Krishna. Right? Even fathom Krishna. How do you understand Krishna? Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur would say there are various places where we can access Krishna. The first place where people go is they go to scriptures. That is where I get Krishna. And Bhakti Thakur says scriptures are like an almanac, like a calendar. Kala Nirnay Jnana. Yeah, that's it. So in India, the farmers will go and find out, when will it, rain? How they go to Panchanga. But Bhaksan Thakur says the Panchanga tells you about when it will rain. But if you rinse Panchanga, it will not get rain. Similarly, scriptures indicate where you will find Krishna. But scriptures by and itself will not give you Krishna, he says. Then the second place where one can access Krishna, he says, go to Dham. Go to Dham, Krishna has appeared there, Dham. Right? But then Bhaksan Thakur says, in the name of going to Dham, right? Radha Kund or Narak Kund, he said one time. What have they made out of it? These symbols, this Radha Kund. So many unscrupulous people have come. What have they done? Ram, Devi, Ganga, Mairi. Okay. What is happening? Then if Dhama is not available, he says, where do I access Krishna? He says, Krishna can be accessed, if you go to the deity form of Krishna, right? Krishna is available as deities. But then he would give his famous saying, Shaligram Dwara Badam Bhangi. You have nice Shaligram Shilas, you're worshipping, pilgrims will come, you open the curtain, they take darshan. And now it's afternoon time, you have collected money in Hundi also, and then you close the curtains. And now what do I do to spend time? I want to eat mungfali, groundnut. But groundnut has to be broken. What do I do? Where is the stone? Shaligram Shila. That is stone. They take that stone and badam bhangur, he says. So there also, if you cannot access Krishna, then detailed article there. We don't have time to discuss them. But then he comes the last option, he says, is a Vaishnava, a devotee, Guru. There you go and will access Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada would say a Vaishnava, a Guru, is the live wire of Krishna, he says. It's a live wire, right? Where you can access Krishna. So Arjuna, in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna in the 11th chapter, Prabhupada says, one may say, oh, Arjuna has Krishna as a good friend for him, and Arjuna is eulogizing his friend. You are God, you are everything, right? But Arjuna quotes there, Agusvam Rishayah Sarve, Devarishi Naradastata, Asito Devalo Vyasaha, Swayam Chaiva Prabhihishime. Yes, Krishna, you said it. But that's what we would hear from all the sadhus in Parampara. Narada told us, you are God. Asita, Devala, Vyasa, all of them are saying you are God. And I'm hearing the same thing from you. Srila Prabhupada says, Krishna said, surrender unto me. That's in the purport. That's the real knowledge. Surrender to Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared and says, Tare dekho, tare kaho, Krishna upadesh. And Prabhupada would say, I'm simply repeating the same knowledge. Surrender unto Krishna. So whoever can give this knowledge in Parampara, that's a genuine person. And from there, we should try to hear. Like we went Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran. Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Dai Gaur Premanande. You can take some questions, but you don't know. A good presentation is that which finishes 1 minute before the allotted time. You should not even end and go, yes, I'm finished 1 minute before. You get appreciated more than the content that you offered. Content gaya, time for khatam ki. Yes.
Just one thing like you talk about scriptures and different things, but the Vaishnava is the real live one. So you can definitely access Krishna.
Agent of Krishna.
Agent of Krishna. So especially in terms of Prabhupada books, I was thinking like Bhagavad Gita, only if the Sanskrit is there, and I mean not much commentary the way Prabhupada is given. So now you see that people putting Bhagavad Gita as it is, or Srimad Bhagavatam, any of the Prabhupada books, which will be the scriptures. But it's a very special, it's my observation, and then I mean you can also add it, whatever. So, but when people have just got in touch with any of our scriptures which Prabhupada has given, like we hear that person who was chanting here Krishna, 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 here, we heard that. He was chanting 16 rounds. So people have like picked up Krishna consciousness. And eventually got to meet devotees also. So one this thing reflection that how Srila Prabhupada is available in his books as a Vaishnava to also give association to people. And that's how they also become devotees just by getting the scriptures also.
Simply offer Srila Prabhupada to them.
Simply?
You also go out and you offer Srila Prabhupada.